What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is your review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 9, episode 18. So, the ladies are in France. They went to Provence, France. They're staying in this beautiful villa. Now, let me tell you something. It is very seldom that you can impress these Beverly Hills ladies because, I mean, they're rich and they're used to nice things and they're used to things being on that five-star scale. But these ladies were impressed with this villa. Hell, I'm impressed with the villa. You come driving up this long driveway. It looks, I mean, the pictures, of course, they showed us the pictures, but oh my gosh, they come down this long driveway and they pull up, and the house staff is standing outside to greet them, honey. And they go in, and this house is from the 1600s. So again, you know, one thing when I started traveling internationally, like when I went to Europe and things like that, not the Caribbean, no disrespect to the Caribbean, you realize how young America really is. And so here's a villa that is older than our country, right? And just imagine what has gone on in these hollowed walls. And it's got a pool and a badminton court and you name it, it has it. And it's beautiful. It's just beautiful to maintain manicured lawns and of course each lady has their own room and they have chefs that'll be cooking all of their meals and just all of these wonderful things. But the the dark cloud over all of this is Camille and Denise's situation back at home. Um, they talked to Camille, they talked to Denise. They both were able to evacuate um, safely. The families got out. What I didn't realize is when they evacuate these places, like there is no lead time. You know what I mean? Like you have to evacuate immediately. Camille said that she barely had enough time. I'm sorry, I see something. Oh, she barely had enough time to, just basically get her important documents out the safe. She said she saved one of her, expensive paintings. But, Lisa later on, I think, said that she had a friend who said she was only able to just grab like her pajamas. So, I mean, I guess that's how fast this fire is raging. That when they start evacuating, you had no time to even pack a couple of suitcases. Like, literally, pick up what you have and get the hell out. And Denise said the same thing that they were able to get out, but they have no idea what's going on with their home. Now, when they talked to Camille, Camille said that her house was that they were able to save her house, but the wind changed direction, and we find out during this episode that Camille's house did end up burning down. And I cannot imagine. Yes, things can be replaced, but some things just can't ever be replaced. Like you can replace the materialistic things, but I mean, when your whole house burns down, and I just can't imagine. Um, it's a lot. It's a lot, and so and it makes you just forget about all the dumb stuff, like all of the we're mad at Camille and Camille is two faced, like all that goes out the window. Like who really cares at this point in the game? You know what I mean? Like not that serious anymore. Um, And so of course that was sort of just like the cloud. And they called and checked in a few times, but I mean, again, what can you do? And Lisa said she felt bad because she had a lot of friends who were affected, but you know, um, it's just not a whole lot you can do. But the ladies make the best of it, of course. They're gonna make the best of it, and they come down for dinner, fabulous, of course, and they have this wonderful dinner planned, and they're having their pre-dinner drinks that seem to be they must be stronger than what they're normally used to, because even Erica Jane was like, okay, this drink is a bit much, like it's strong. I'm drunk already. And the only downside to this villa is I don't think there elevator. And they're just steps. They kept going up and down these steps. Erica Jane said she don't have to do leg day, honey, because she's getting it in at the villa. So if there is, it may be a service elevator that they've added, but clearly there were no elevators in the 1600s. But I'm sure with upgrades and stuff, there's an elevator, probably a service elevator, but just an everyday elevator. No, just gotta do steps like old fashioned. But the first night they have a great dinner, they have a good conversation, they tell each other some of their secrets. I think we find out that Teddy Mellencamp's nickname was Butch. She was a tomboy. Um, we found out that Dorit stole her parents' car at 14. So we, they have a good conversation. It was really cool. Um, I don't really think there was any major dust ups or anything at dinner. Everybody So I had a good time. What I did find interesting was that Lisa Vanderpump told the whole story about her doing Erica Jane for Halloween and how it helped her talk to um, Kyle's sister, whose face I can see right now. Um, and how they were able, like, yeah, maybe she took, used it, but then she was able to, parlay that into a conversation, and they're in a better place and they're cool or whatever. And they were able to address the elephant in the room, aka the bunny in the room, and they were able to get past it. The reason why I bring that up is because it comes back up later on. But Lisa absolutely addressed it and said, hey, it was a good thing. I was able to use that embodiment of Erica Jane, which is a character. It's not the same as Erica Girardi. Erica Jane is a caricature, which again is important. We're gonna get to that in a minute. So then the next day, the ladies get up and they go to a little French market, and we see them shopping and and all that good stuff. And then they do some sightseeing, which of course again is really great. They get a chance to do some sightseeing, and I mean they're just having a good time, right? Frolicking. That daggone Kyle trying to buy a hat and couldn't make up her mind and tried on 50 different hats, and oh Lord, it was like, Kyle, make up your mind already, dear. Um, but she ends up buying a hat. Then she want to sit there and haggle with the man over the hat. If you don't buy that hat and pay what he charging you, you need to be haggling over no damn hat at the damn market, girl. Um, and so while they were at lunch, they had a very honest and open conversation about bulimia. Um, Lisa was saying how her daughter is going to college and is going to major in health and nutrition because she really wants to continue to expand her knowledge and her teaching on um, eating disorders and body image and things of that nature. And so Kyle ended up opening up to the ladies about her experience with eating disorders. And she said, when she was a teenager, she was on a TV show and she wanted a better wardrobe. The clothes they were putting her in were baggy and she wanted a better wardrobe. And the producer said, if you lose some weight, you get a better wardrobe. And so that's what she did. And she said she had gotten down to under 100 pounds. She said that she would just warm up V8 juice, not even tomato soup, V8 juice. And she would warm that up and that would be her dinner. She said she remember, I mean, no, that would be what she ate all day, not dinner, ate all day. She said she remembers counting out almonds and saying, okay, I'm gonna eat this many almonds today. Like, just so sad. You know what I mean? Just so, so sad. And she said that she's never even told her children, which of course now you're going to have to. But she said that when she gets back home, she'll have the conversation with the children. And of course, we had talked about this a little earlier when they went on the camping trip. They talked about just the pressure, especially in the time that they grew up in that 80s, 90s when, the Kate Moss, remember that heroin chic look that I'm just going to be so, so, so skinny to the point where some fashion houses started saying, look, we're not going to use these models anymore because of just how bad this image. I remember it being just a whole controversy of that whole heroin chic look, that image that people put out. And so, Kyle said that, she never told her kids because she just didn't want them to, think of her any differently or think that she was weak or something like that. And they were like, Kyle, you raised some really strong girls, and it is what it is. Like, you overcame it. It was something you dealt with, and you overcame it. And so there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing that they don't think that the girls would be ashamed of them, and they really respected Kyle coming and sharing her story, and I did too. Again, it just goes to show how comfortable these girls are getting with each other, and that's what Erica Jane said. Erica said, it's really just a testament that this is a safe space, that we just really feel comfortable around each other. There's not a whole bunch of bullshit and drama. She said, because Lisa Vanderpump is not here. And I was like, a lot of people made the same observation. And y'all, my comments are mixed. There's some people that are like Team Lisa, and there's some people that are like glad she's not there. So there are a lot of mixed comments with the whole thing. But at the end of the day, you can't deny that there's a different chemistry. And some people might say boring. I mean, that's fine. But there's definitely a different chemistry with Lisa not being there. So the ladies are getting ready for dinner. They're going out to dinner to a nice restaurant. And, of course, they have their pre dinner drink again, which, they got drunk the night before. I don't know what they thought the difference was going to be. Lisa's feeling a little good. Erica's feeling a little good. And they end up going out to the restaurant, honey. So here's where we have really the only conflict up until this point. They're at dinner. And somehow or another, the whole situation with Lisa Rinna and that damn her being Erica Jane for Halloween comes up again. And this time, Kyle starts talking about how she feels like it was just a little rude, and that's not how Erica acts. And Erica doesn't act like that. I mean, Erica wouldn't call somebody those names, and Erica wouldn't do this, and Erica wouldn't do that. And it was like they were trying to bait Erica into it. And Erica was like, look, I wasn't offended. I was fine. Like, she said that was Lisa Rinna's interpretation of my Erica Jane persona. She wasn't imitating Erica Giraldi. Isn't that her last name? She was imitating Erica Jane. And why are we talking about it? Like I'm over it. You know what I mean? Like I'm over it. And so then Teddy jumps in. Well, I just think that it was a little offensive. And again, over to the side, you know, um, Dorit was like, Teddy is sort of Kyle's like attack dog. And of course they flash back to the whole thing with Dorit at the Boy George concert with PK and how Teddy sort of jumped in with Kyle or whatever. And Kyle, Dorit was just like, why why is Teddy even in this? It doesn't have anything to do with Teddy. She wasn't, she don't have nothing to do with it. It's not her situation. Like, why are we having this conversation? And so again, they keep bringing it up. And what was pissing me off was Kyle was like, well, Erica, you weren't a little offended. I mean, you sure you weren't offended? And Erica was like, for the third time, I was not offended. I was fine with it. Can we talk about something else? And the whole time, Erica is just not saying anything. And it's like, and Erica finally said it. She said, why are y'all trying to bait me into this conversation? I don't know what else you want me to say. I've said it. I've said it again. And then Kyle and her confessional was like, I can't believe that Erica's not even a little bit offended. She told y'all she wasn't. And I was just like, why are we still going back and forth? Why y'all insisting on making this bigger than it is? Why y'all insisting on name? Because y'all know when Erica blows. So I don't know why y'all are even baiting her like this. And finally, Erica sort of just shuts it down to Teddy. She tells Teddy, look, I'm not doing this. I said what I said. I'm done with it. Like, we're done. Why are we still having this conversation? And Lisa Rinna was like, what? Like, I don't know what else y'all want me to say. Like, this was what I'm an actress. This was my interpretation of the role. And had I not taken on the persona, I wouldn't have been able to have that conversation as Lisa Rinna. Like, it gave me the nerve to have the conversation with your sister. I don't know why I can't remember the woman's name now. And they just kept going. It was like, I felt for Erica in that moment because I was like, why are we still having this fucking conversation? Like, I was looking at it and was like, why are we still having this conversation? Why are we still going on and on and on and on and on? You know what I mean? And they ended up kind of blowing up. Lisa and Erica kind of, blew up, but it was just like Kyle and Teddy just wouldn't let it go. Dorit didn't have a whole lot to say. But, and then, like I said, with Teddy, I'm just like, this don't even have shit to do with you. And so Lisa Rinna was just like, Teddy, what is your issue? Like, really, what is the real issue? And Teddy was like, well, Lisa, I really do like you. It's not that. And, Lisa was like, I don't care if you like me. And she was like, oh, well, I mean, I care if you like me. She said, no, that's not what I'm saying is I would hope that you like me. That's cool. But I don't care if you like me because I am who I am. Like, I'm going to be Lisa. You know what I mean? And so I don't care if you like me from that point of view. And then finally, Erica was just like, I'm done with this. Like, why are we still having this conversation? And so that was sort of the conflict. It really hadn't been, any conflict up until that point, but it just was that insistence that Kyle and Teddy had that they were just gonna, it's like they were gonna make Erica say something. They were gonna make Erica be mad, and Erica was just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't. And I don't even know why we're still talking about it. So anyway, that was pretty much what happened. Like I said, the whole episode was pretty eventful until the very end. And like I said, I don't know why they wanted Erica Jane to come out, but honey, I think they about to get her. I think they about to get the Erica Jane that they didn't want. Because at this point, she's pissed off. You know what I mean? So anyway, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think. Peace.